Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Cerebro's webinar series entitled Campus Culture in a Virtual Environment. I am Sarah May Zacarias, the Customer Success Officer here at Cerebro, and I will be your moderator for today. Together with the entire Cerebro team, we would like to extend a very warm greetings to all of you here with us in this activity. Before we formally proceed to our program, let's have a quick shout out for our participants here in Zoom. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is doing great since today is a wonderful weekend for all of us. So to start our program, may I call in the Business Development Officer of Cerebro, Ms. Maria Alondra Cooper, to discuss some important guidelines for our session this morning.
Hello everyone, good morning and welcome to our webinar today. Also, let me take this opportunity to greet everyone a Happy New Year. So as we begin our event, let me just discuss with you our webinar guidelines. First, you can use the chat box to interact with everyone. Please avoid using any inappropriate language or doing any untoward behavior towards the organizers and the other attendees. Second, please make sure that your microphone is always muted during the learning session unless it's time for sharing and Q&A. Third, we are looking forward to your active participation in this webinar, so don't be shy. We'd love to interact with you and hear your thoughts about our topic for today. Fourth, at the end of the session, we will be giving out the link for our online evaluation form, which will also serve as the basis for the distribution of your certificates. After filling out the evaluation, you will automatically receive your certificates via email. And lastly, we will also have a photo opportunity with our speaker today. Again, thank you for attending, and we hope you will enjoy today's activity.
Thank you very much, Ms. Alondra. As we begin our session, let me just inform everyone that after the discussion, you will be given the opportunity to ask questions. So if you have any questions that you would like to raise, please send in your question to our official Slido page at slido.com/cerebrolms, or you can just go to slido.com and use the event code #cerebrolms, so our speaker will be able to address your questions accordingly after the talk. You may also interact with the other participants, so please do not hesitate to leave your comments and messages in the chat box. Okay, so I know that we are all excited to hear from our resource person for today. But before we proceed, let's have a quick walkthrough of what Cerebro is and what problem we are trying to solve. To present that, we have the CEO of Cerebro himself, Mr. Justine Itugot.
Hello, good morning everyone, and welcome to our webinar for today entitled Campus Culture in a Virtual Environment. Let me just give you a quick walkthrough of what Cerebro is and what we are doing to solve problems related to education. So again, I'm Justin and I'm the CEO of Cerebro. We are actually a group of teachers who aim to innovate teaching by allowing our fellow educators, both young and seniors alike, to jumpstart e-learning amidst the pandemic and make teaching in the new normal an enjoyable passion and not just a stressful job that could give them thoughts about leaving their careers. Just to give you some sort of a user story on why we are doing this is teacher Anna, a grade school faculty member in a medium-sized private school handling 8 online classes with 50 students each. However, these classes are not of the same subject since teachers in the elementary level are usually expected to teach students in several learning areas, which could also be different from the teacher's field of specialization. And because of this, Anna needs to do an extensive research about the subjects assigned to her so she could prepare her instructional materials well, while also allocating time for her other administrative duties such as computing grades, preparing reports, and the like. Based on data from the Department of Education, a teacher spends at least 2 hours per day for these tasks, which sums up to around 400 hours of preparation time for the entire school year. And this number has just doubled during the COVID-19 pandemic since teachers were required to produce a year's worth of digital material so that their schools can get certified for online learning. And we could only imagine how stressful it is to be a teacher. And what else could we feel if we realize that this problem also becomes a pain point for school administrators after seeing a great number of private school teachers who resigned from their jobs just last year. And with this, schools are losing billions just to train new hires, whom they also cannot ensure if these teachers could withstand the pressure even for just a semester. The Philippine Institute for Development Studies also notes that such heavy workload of teachers has a significant effect on the quality of education, leading us to rank 79 out of the 79 countries who took the program for international student assessment in the year 2018. Then we came to realize that if there is only one set of competencies issued by DepEd by which our students are measured, then why can't we have a single set of instructional materials coupled with auto-graded assessments and interactive and gamified learning activities that we could share with teachers coming from different schools to effectively reduce their workload and free up much of their time for their families and personal lives. So basically, our solution comes with ready-made instructional contents that teachers can just pull out from our platform to jumpstart their online teaching, and even interactive simulations that provide virtual realistic laboratory experiments that will keep students engaged with learning the fun way. In addition, school administrators can also monitor what's happening in their learning management system and determine the system's usage data and the end user's performance. Now, you might be thinking that there are already other market players out there and that we might be a new name for you when it comes to e-learning. But our initial set of clients were willing to switch to our solution and even gave us positive feedback that helped us gain early stage traction against the other widely used brands. In the first 23 months of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have continuously strived to develop our competitive edge, and we would like to further expand our reach so more schools will learn about our advantage in terms of curriculum alignment, ease of registration, and value for money. There are over 1.2 million teachers in the Philippines who could benefit from our solution, and among this number, 300,000 are from the private school sector who do not enjoy access to the government's learning resource system. 11,000 teachers are in the province of Cavite where we have already tested our products, since 76% of the schools here are privately owned. And sadly, there are about 865 private schools who had no choice but to close down during the pandemic just because they were not able to prepare digital materials and meet DepEd's minimum requirements for online learning. And this led to over 4,000 teachers losing their jobs and nearly 60,000 students who were either forced to transfer to other schools or to temporarily stop their education. At present, 13 schools with a combined total of about 8,000 users have subscribed to Cerebro at an institutional level, where 7 schools are from Cavite and 6 are from other provinces who serve as our test markets for their respective areas in Metro Manila and Central Visayas. This coming school year 2022-2023, we are expecting to add 40 more schools coming from the areas of North Luzon, South Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao after we have received very positive feedback from our early stage adopters. A good 75% of our team is composed of licensed professional teachers, so our solution is something that is crafted by teachers for our fellow teachers, and we don't think that the other LMS providers have the same experience in the field that we have, since we ourselves felt how it really is to be a teacher from the ground. Even with only less than 2 years since incorporation, we have already received several recognitions in local international startup competitions like SeedStars International, the ASEAN Startup Awards, the Idea Space Acceleration Program, in the Philippine Startup Week. And we are also among the startups under Kubo Innovation Hub and the DOST Tomasino Center. Individual teachers who are engaged in lesson planning, or even parents who would like their children to learn their lessons in advance, may directly register on our website and start accessing our materials there for free, while educational administrators may also opt to avail a paid monthly subscription at an institutional level so they can ensure a standardized quality of learning for their whole school. As for the price, we are actually 3 times lower than that of traditional textbooks. So overall, Cerebro is a cost-effective solution for jumpstarting online learning. So if you are a school owner or an administrator in North Luzon, National Capital Region, South Luzon, Visayas, or Mindanao, or you know of anyone who might be looking for a solution that will help address problems on faculty workload and e-learning compliance for the new normal, connect with us so we can discuss how we can be partners in helping your educators to teach smart and live smart. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Justine, for sharing with us how Cerebro helped teachers to jumpstart their online teaching with the least preparation possible, allowing them to save up to 400 hours of preparation time per year. Now, I know that we can't wait to hear what's in store for all of us this morning. May I call in again Ms. Alondra Cooper, our Business Development Officer, to introduce our guest speaker.
Thank you, Sarah. Hello again, everyone. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our resource person today, who is going to talk to us about the campus culture in a virtual environment. So, he is a graduate of AB Classical Philosophy who is currently serving as the Student Activity Coordinator for Higher Education, Coordinator for Culture and the Arts, Moderator for the Student Publication, and Moderator of the Supreme Student Government at San Sebastian College-Recoletos de Cavite. He is a teacher for 18 years from grade school to tertiary levels, espousing a philosophical construct on humanism. He is also a playwright, a thespian, and an avid outdoor enthusiast. Our dear participants, let me present to you our resource person for this morning, Mr. Reynaldo Geronimo.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Maraming salamat sa iyo, Sarah. Maraming salamat for that introduction, Alondra. And thank you very much, Sir Justin Donald Itugot, for inviting me as your resource speaker for the topic on campus culture in the virtual environment. I was surprised, no? Ang Cerebro LMS is already serving 13 schools. And and you're not even 3 years old, and your target is around additional 40 more schools. I think you are the road is paved well for the other schools that will benefit from Cerebro LMS. So I was asked to talk about campus culture in the virtual environment, no? Parang mukha yata akong multo sa screen na to, no? Kasi pag sinindihan ko naman yung ilaw sa background ko, mukha naman akong kinukuha ng langit. Dito naman kitang-kita nyo ang lahat ng pores ko sa sobrang embossed ng mukha ko, no? Okay. Siguro lang. Let me just share my screen. Yan, kita na po ba ng lahat?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, this is a talk on campus culture in the virtual environment, no? This talk assumes three things. One, that each of us here is representative of our respective culture. Some of us here might be in the school, have been serving the school for more than 20 years. Okay? And that's laudable, yung ganyang klase ng years of service in a school, especially at this time of the pandemic. So with 10, 20, 15 years in the school, we are already quite a credible representative of our respective culture. Also, that we have already imbibed this culture together with our students as our common identity, and that each of us takes pride in this culture. Each of us takes pride in this culture. Medyo nalilito ko sa camera ko kung Facebook Live na to o dito. Okay? So these are the things that I am assuming that everyone has set their mind on. If we're going to go back to philosophy of man, some of you have taken philosophy of man, I assume. The general definition of culture is defined as a social behavior and norms found in human societies and institutions. This is standard definition of what culture is. So kasi pagka i-dichotomize ko yung topic na campus culture in a virtual environment, I got three topics to talk about. And then tahi-tahiin ang tatlong ideya na ito in the conclusion part. So I am in the introductory part where I'm going to be discussing culture in its entirety. Hopefully, I'll be able to be just in my discussion of it, at least from the definition. And then the second and the first part, the second part, and then the conclusion. That's how I'm going to go through this talk. Again, in the general definition of culture is that it is a social behavior and norms found in human societies and institutions. It is culture spelled with the letter C. Okay, with a capital letter C pala. Okay, capital letter C, because later on we're going to be looking at culture in its uh, micro representation. It's a culture spelled with a small letter C. Now, sometime in 1985, when I was contemplating on what I'm going to do with my life, either enter the priesthood or be a teacher, I was trying to look into the other possibility na ako ay maging teacher. Okay? So, what I did was to, ano to, nagbabasa ako, nanonood ako ng mga, well, nanonood ako ng mga pelikula about teachers and schools, something that could motivate me to consider kung ako ay papasok sa seminaryo o ako ay maguguro na lang. Okay? Now, in 1985, there was this movie. Nung minsan kausap ko si Sir Henry Hilario, when I was given this topic on campus culture in the virtual environment, I talked to Sir Henry Hilario about it. Sir Henry Hilario is the director of the guidance and counseling here at Baste. No? Sabi ko, Henry, nung araw, when I was young, when I was trying to think of the path that I'm going to take, if I'm going to enter the seminary or become a teacher, sabi ko, sa kanya, there was this movie that I saw when I was young. In the 80s, I couldn't even pinpoint what year it was at what movie was. Pero sinabi ko sa kanya kung ano yung movie, yung gist nung story, tapos how it was presented. Eh si Sir Henry Hilario, napaka-techy na tao. And lo and behold, that night I was telling him about it in the afternoon, but that night he was able to give me the exact clip of that movie. Now, the movie is Real Genius. Okay? It starred Val Kilmer of Batman and Forever. I'm not sure kung ano yung name, ano. Pero this movie is very representative of what we are undergoing now. And this movie was done in 1985. Let's see. Okay, could everyone hear it? Teka muna, ha?
Sir.
Yes,
Naririnig
po.
po ba?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
We hear.
Okay, sige. Okay. Tingnan ulit natin, ano? Tingnan natin yung what do you call this? Yung gradation ng scenes. First, an auditorium full of students, all interested with their professor. Then later on, because the professor is a bit boring, some students has opted to do a recording of what the professor was teaching. Until at the time came that there were just very few students who were attending the lecture, until finally the real genius, Val Kilmer, discovered that he's just all by himself in an entire auditorium without students, but with all the cassette recorders, including the professors delivering lecture na recorded. That was in 1985. This was 1985. Can you believe it? That this is entirely, this parang prediction to of what's going to happen in the year 2020. Ano? Meron pang isa na i-share ako sa inyo. This was a clip from Philippine Daily Inquirer. Okay? This was published printed in the year 2000. How kids, no? Ano ang tingin ng mga bata in the year 2000? What's going to happen in the Philippines or in the world? And one of the kids, ito ang kanyang inilagay, a global village. This is in the year 2000, ha? Sa pananaw niya, and the kid was in high school, was in grade school, I believe. And then this is what he said: 50 years from now. So it was the year 2000, and he was predicting that 50 years from now the world will become one big village and people will become much closer to each other instead of being cold and distant. This is FaceTime. Electronic mail, text messaging, and advanced communication technology will enable people from the opposite sides of the globe to talk to each other as often as they wish. And because of this, they can understand each other, create more bonds of friendship with all peoples of the world. And he was a kid. Unfortunately, he died in 2008. He was not able to see, to experience the prediction that he made in the year 2000. Okay? So this is FaceTime. At ngayon gamit na gamit itong platform na ito. However, no matter what we do, all this expression of culture, yung culture spelled with a capital C, are endangered by a paradigm shift. At least a paradigm shift in the delivery of learning, in how we conduct education in the class, learning experience in the classroom. Yung paradigm shift na yan, ilang beses na tayo naka-attend ng seminar, and it's always about this paradigm shift, paradigm shift, paradigm shift. Especially if you studied education, if your background is education, no? Ang daming klase ng paradigm shifts, teaching methodologies, and but no one has actually ever seen that there's really going to be a paradigm shift in the delivery of learning. Now, sometime in what do you call this? Sometime in 2010, ang Massachusetts Institute of Technology was what do you call this? Was into the virtual learning environment. Before it's being being in a virtual learning environment, it used to be a computer-mediated communication. In 2010, it was defined that the virtual learning environment is a space designed for teaching and learning that hinges on technology and connectivity. This is in 2010. And the study was done by Kenneth Robinson, the British author of Creativity in Virtual Education. And in his study, he pointed out the need for a new paradigm shift in learning, more suited for the so-called digital natives. Okay? Again, Kenneth Robinson was emphasizing that teachers should be able to adapt to the new system of learning, to the virtual learning environment, because definitely there will come a time, and this is in 2010, that teachers will have to accommodate the Gen Z, or yung fast-paced ng mga estudyante. And this is what he said: immersed in technology and new technical devices, since the time they were born, they are used to live at rapid speed and have little patience for the slow learning processes of traditional and old school education. This shows much promise in terms of meeting the needs of this techno-savvy generation of learners. And this was in 2010. Tingnan natin yung tingnan natin yung progression nung kaisipan na ito. Visual learning environment in 2010 ginagamit na at least in some schools in Europe. Okay, and then the MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, adapted the virtual learning environment in toto, and then And this is in preparation to this Gen Z who shows impatience in the learning processes that is offered by traditional education. Lahat naman tayo naranasan natin ang as teachers, we have experienced students who were not that focused in the traditional way of education because fast-paced na nga, no? Pag tungtong pa lang ng year 2000, everything was already in fast pace. This shows much promise in terms of meeting the needs of this techno-savvy generation of learners. If we're not techno-savvy as teachers, then we're going to lose the engagement that we expect from our students. So while this Gen Z and rather in the study that was made by two professors at UP College of Education, namely Conaco and Gastardo, in the paper they presented in the 7th International Academy of Technology Education and Development, or the IATED, ang sabi nitong mga UP professors na to na while the Gen Z is fully immersed in everything that technology could offer, okay, the main challenge in the virtual learning environment in a developing country is the availability of digital facilities, which is one of the most important aspects of technology in education in its ability to level the field of opportunity for learning or for our students. Sabi ni Monaco at saka ni Gastardo, tama yung sinabi ni Kenneth Robinson, tama din yung ginawa ng MIT, okay? Anong preparations na ginawa nila. Pero what about those who are in a developing country such as ours? In a developing country such as ours, students are naturally adapted to the new trends in technology. But hindi lahat ng estudyante has the capacity for this. Okay? Maraming estudyante, though they know about it, at least alam nila, and they're conscious about it, they do not have the actual facility to do it. And here in the Philippines, very few schools, if there are actually schools who are adapted to the virtual learning environment, very few schools adapted it, one of which is La Salle Subel. Okay, and of course, STI at some point, but the best school that is representative of adapting to the virtual learning environment is the College of Education of De La Salle College staff. Okay, syempre naman, yung mga nag-aaral dyan, talaga namang they have the capacity for technology, for the new trends. Okay, but those who are in the College of Information Technology, na halimbawa in most of the public school, they know it, but yung capacity for the facility is not there. Okay? Kaya kahit makagraduate sila, medyo nahihirapan silang mag-adapt to the facility itself. So merong hindi level yung playing field into when we talk about the access to technology, okay, in support of learning. Okay, now when we talk of the campus culture, on the other hand, I'm sorry. When we talk of the campus culture, the main question is, can there be a campus culture in a virtual environment? Could we have the same campus culture as we had it in an in-person experience? Okay, when we are talking about, but first, let us first look at the campus culture and put it side by side with the culture that we were talking about in the introductory part of this talk. Campus culture is the combination of various cultures on campus. Okay? This is from the Academic Culture and Campus Culture of Universities, a Canadian study for Center for Science Education. They define campus culture as a combination of various cultures in campus. Various cultures in campus. Various culture. It's because students and employees in a school, ang kanilang melting pot is the campus itself, no? But all people, all students, all employees, all teachers are from different cultures. And then over time, created jointly by school personages and accumulated in the long-term practice of school running. The operative word is accumulated in a long-term practice. It's something that is imbibed by people over time. Okay? For example, si Sarah, natatandaan mo pa ang kultura ng Kabsu? Are you from Kabsu, Sarah?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, very good. Ma'am Sir Dominic Sarmiento, you're here. Hindi mo inakalang tatawagin kita na Dominic. Before the coming of the Recoletos sa Sacred Heart, do you still recall kung anong kultura meron ang Sacred Heart prior to the coming of the OAR?
Yes po. Yes.
How long have you been at that Sacred Heart, Dominic?
3 years na po.
Magti
3 years na po.
Magto 2 years pa lang. Sorry. But Dominic, sa 2 years mo ngayon, now the school is under the OAR Fathers. Can you find yourself and can you identify yourself better now with Sacred Heart School?
Yes.
Okay, 2 years is quite a good time to be able to identify yourself in a community. Si Ma'am Naila ba, Dominic, nandito? Nag-recitation ako.
I think nandito po.
Okay. Sige, hindi na ako tatawag, ha? But campus culture is the thing that we created from out of our respective cultures. And it is a culture that is spelled with the small letter C, compared to the culture that is spelled with the capital C. Okay, the capital C is from where we came from our point of origin, and in our case, Caviteños, okay, or Filipinos, pag tiningnan natin sa mas macro dimension. And then yung school culture natin, that would be our culture with a small letter C. That small culture that we have imbibed as Sacredites or as Sebastianians or as Cabsueños or ano pa ba mga Ateneans or Lasallians. Okay? It is a culture that is jointly accumulated on a long-term practice for school running. Okay, what happened? Bakit ko napunta rito? Wait. Ang layo. For a while po. Yan. Now, according to the Canadian Center of Science and Education in 2012, the Academic Culture and Campus Culture University, campus culture consists mainly of the following: material culture, institutional culture, spiritual culture. These are the salient feature of how campus culture is campus culture is imbibed by students and by employees. Material culture is about the facilities of the school, how people take pride, how people could actually take pride in the looks, in the physical looks of their schools. Okay, this particular building is I think Xavier School, no? Xavier School at Green Hills, grade school department. No, yung physical or yung material culture is one of the best one component of creating a campus culture. Yung the pride that is developed The pride that is developed by the students or by the employees because of how the school looks. It's the physical layout of the school. It's how attractive the school buildings are. It's how nice the gardens are or the playgrounds are, how good the canteen services is. So it's the material culture. Okay? Isa sa mga bagay where students and employees could actually take pride of their school. Then institutional culture. It's the management system. How proud are the students or the employees in the material in the institutional culture? Gaano ba sila ka-pride sa sistema ng kanilang education, sa sistema ng kanilang online class, lalo na ngayon, ano? Pag kinumpare niyo yung isang school sa isang school, both are on online classes. Do they have cerebro who could provide the best LMS? Yung mga tipong ganon. Compared to other school who's using the different system that is not as good as what others would have. And then the spiritual culture. The spiritual culture is not about religion. It is not about if the school is a Catholic school or not. It is not about whether the school is private or public. But the spiritual culture is a combination of the activities that is being done on a very consistent basis by the school. Ito yung mga sports activities, yung mga other extracurricular activities that enhances the classroom experience of the students. Ito yung mas malaking bagay apart from how the school looks like, apart from how the school is being managed, is how the student is actually taking part, and taking part in school, in the school activities. Tandaan ninyo, mas proud ang mga bata sa mga activities na ginagawa ng schools nila than what they actually have in the classroom. Okay? That the more activities that they have in the school, the more pride that they would have for their respective school. Meron kayong ganito, meron kayong ganon. Yun yung mga tanong ng ibang estudyante. Okay? And, pag tinanong natin, is there such a thing as a campus culture in a virtual environment? The resounding answer is yes. There is such a thing still. There is such a thing as a campus culture even in a virtual environment. And the thing about that is that we are part of its birthing now. We are part of its growth. It's slowly growing now. No, hindi nga natin to na-imagine before. If not for this pandemic, we will not be able to explore the possibility of having an alternative classroom. Everything was just predicted before in writing, just like in the one that I've showed you in the Inquirer clipping. Everything like in the movie Real Genius, and like in an animation movie like the Sealand 2020, yung mga kaedad ko, mga 55 years old. Baka napapanood nyo ng bata kayo, yung cartoon na Sealand 2020, that was also predictive of what's going to happen in the year 2000. And even the Simpsons, kung sa inyo nang pamilyar sa Simpsons, they were the ones who predicted in the cartoon series that there's going to be, at one point in time, there's going to be a black American president, and we did have it with Obama. Now that we have this online campus and virtual campus, we are now be part of the birthing of this particular virtual culture in the language, in the norms, and in how schools are being rebranded. In the language, no, yung lahat ng language that are being used in an online class, everyone is quite aware of it. When we talk about BBB, when we talk about online class, when we talk about TikTok now and how TikTok is being used, no, alam ng estudyante at alam ng teacher yung language na yon, and how this language is actually being used in the classroom situation, in the norms, the policy, the crafting of the policy, because definitely now in an online classes, all schools are adjusting the policy, even the policy on discipline. Mas malaki nga yata ang adjustment na ginagawa sa policy ng discipline than the policy and actual classroom encounter. And in how schools are being rebranded, it is very important now for schools. If there are school administrators here, the clamor now to rebrand the identity of the school is as important as it was on the pre-pandemic period. Okay, we have to be able to, reimagine the image of the school. How best could we actually market the school now, and what we could offer in compared to the threat around us. Yung ibang schools that who could offer just the same. Ngayon, I'm sure school administrators would agree, borderless na ngayon. Like here at Baste, we have students who are from Carmona, Cavite. We have students from Palawan. We have students from here and from there. We have students from abroad. Kasi online class na nga. How is the school rebranding its image right now? We are part of it. We are part of the birthing in this very exciting period in educational technology. We are part of it. So the paradigm shift that I was talking about a while ago is as true now as it ever was before. Okay? And we are at the threshold of creating a new culture. Yung in-person natin, it's good then. Okay? And that's good for the foundational image that we honed ourselves with. Pero yung ngayon, mas importante. Now, the pandemic is here to stay. It is something, kanina nga nanonood ako sa TV sabi nga, if I forgot kung sino itong priest na ito, no? Pero ang sabi niya, it's time will come that this is going to be, what do you call this? Endemic to a place. Okay? So, magiging normal na ito at magiging normal na bahagi ng buhay natin in this new normal. And so what are we going to do about it? We have got to be a part of it. And we have got to be very excited, no, that we are part of it, so that we would be able to address it properly rather than sit down and withdraw from the challenges of teaching right now. Meron akong kilalang teacher na malapit sa akin, no, na takot siya sa online teaching. Nung nag-online na ang klase, takot siya because there's so many things. Hindi naman siya computer savvy. Kahit naman ako, hindi naman ako computer savvy, no? Hindi naman ako technologically attuned o hindi rin siya technologically attuned. Nakakatakot, kinakabahan siya. Natatakot siya sa pindot dito, what's going to happen. But now she was able to adapt and teach math the way math should be taught, even in the in-person. And she was able to discover new phases of it. That's because she was excited about this new mode of the delivery of learning. Now, this campus culture in a virtual environment is an opportunity for us to create a new culture in an educational institution. Okay? That should be able to elicit excitement in all of us. First, standards now may just be the norm we shall follow in decades to come. Let us excitedly involve ourselves in creating a new standards, in standards in the delivery of education in the classroom, in the virtual classroom. Because these standards of the school, these standards that we are taking part of might just be the kind of page that we need in the new manual that we have to craft for our school. Kasama na dyan yung standards in the school management. Iba na noong in-person, iba na ngayon. maybe we should look into the possibility of adjusting the school's policy according to the norms of virtual education. Then standards in the use of the school's IT infrastructure. All of us have the IT, have the facility for information technology. Pero how are we maximizing the use of it? And more importantly, what else do we have apart from it? No, like a support infrastructure, just like what Cerebro LMS is offering to all of us. Okay? We have to consider that and not, hindi pwede tayong sa school management, I think hindi po pwedeng manangan lang tayo on what we have. We have to explore everything else that we could explore and adapt to as early as possible. Or else may iwan yung mga schools ninyo doon sa mga schools who are taking risk. Okay? Doon sa mga schools who would rather take risk in exploring the possibility of using of adapting more, what do you call this, more aggressively sa technology. Then standards and discipline and others. In the States, meron akong nabasang isang article. In the States, the problem of virtual campus, the problem in the classroom is discipline. Okay, yung mga suot daw ng mga bata, yung mga how they present themselves, the background they have in their these things are part of the discipline of the students in a virtual setup. Ang sabi doon sa isang article na nabasa ko, it's high time for schools to tone down a bit their rules on discipline when it comes to virtual classrooms. Because there are times that hindi ready yung mga bata sa mga ganitong mga hindi ready yung mga bata. May mga bagay na hindi na pwedeng i-adapt in a virtual setup of a class. Okay? Next. How can we create a campus culture in an environment? Which is a more important question. How can we create a campus culture in a virtual environment? The context is this. Remote learning, the context is remote learning does not have the same value anymore as an in-person encounter. Okay? Because of these lockdowns, these social distancing rules, okay, and many things that give the school its identity. Solution, ang suggestion is create student activities. Build a strong campus community that is contributed to the direction of a new culture in the new normal. Wait. Okay? Build a strong campus community contributive to the direction of the new culture in the new normal. The value of which are critical to attracting and retaining students. Yun yung sinasabi natin kanina, ano po? Create more student activities, even online activities. Okay? Hindi lang yung online classes, hindi lang yung virtual classroom. If we could create more student activities to what do you call this, to elicit more participation in the student apart from the virtual classroom, it's a lot easier for us to have the students anchored in the culture and in the identity of the school. Of course, it is harder now for institutions to maintain in today's resource constrained in the virtual world. It is harder now, but we have to do something about it. Dito nga sa Baste, we try to, as much as possible, create a lot of student activities to have more student engagement apart from the virtual classroom. Nakakatamad po ang nakatingin lamang sa lecture ng teacher. Nakakatamad na yung in-person, mas nakakatamad ngayon. Nung unang-unang, if I may share this, no? Nung unang-unang experience ko na magturo ng online, I was laughing all by myself in a room. I was just looking at the screen. I used to teach lively in a classroom. I used to deliver jokes in the classroom related to the content of my lecture. Pero naiintindihan ng mga bata, especially sa logic, napakahirap magturo ng logic kung hindi ka dadaanin sa biro. Okay? And nung nag-online class, the first time na nag-online class ako, my goodness, I'm laughing all by myself. Ewan ko kung nasa niyo yun. Tapos nakatingin lang sa akin. I was looking at blank windows. Pangalan lang nakikita ko, hindi ko nakikita yung mga bata. It's really different. Now, I'm trying to adapt, no? And as much as you do, okay? This is a bit harder now for us who are a bit old, no? At a bit used to the old ways of handling classroom situations. But ang sinasabi lamang ay sa paggawa sa pagtatag ng panibagong kultura sa school setup. We have to be able to create more student activities now than we used to before, just to anchor the students in the school so that the students could actually build their or identify themselves with the school that they are in. Otherwise, wala lang. The school has just become one of the facilities for them to graduate. Pero yung naiugat nila ang sarili nila sa kung anong kultura meron ng school, baka mawala. So, student activities are very important. It's as important as the one that we have in a virtual classroom. Ways to build. Isa lang, no? This time, we look at the ways to build campus culture with technology in today's virtual world. First, make connectivity our priority. Ang pinakamahirap talaga sa ating situation ngayon, and tama naman yung ginawa ni Monaco at ni Gastardo, no? Yung mga UP professors na nagsabi na ang mahirap sa mga developing country is connectivity. Ang mahirap is the facility for digitalization. Ang mahirap is that hindi equal yung opportunity for all students to be connected. Okay? Unang-unang problema nga, gadgets then connectivity pa. So schools should prioritize connectivity. Okay? In order for us to be able to build a campus culture with technology in today's virtual world. The second is to be able to create a safe, positive, and productive virtual environment by providing options for learning content and being flexible. Flexibility. Ito naman, kilala naman tayo bilang mga guro, no? Tayo ay flexible sa napakaraming bagay. Nung in-person, pwede tayong teacher, pwede tayong nanay, pwede tayong counselor, pwede tayong kaibigan. In today's virtual world, we could still do just the same and even more. We could actually guide our students in discovering what technology could offer to each and every one of us. We all have got to have this positive outlook in adapting to this virtual environment. It is only by being positive about it that we could be productive. Okay? I repeat, it is only by being positive that we could be productive in this virtual environment. Okay? Let us not concern ourselves with just the content. We have got to be able to be flexible as we were flexible before. Naalala ko tong isang teacher na to. Hindi ko sasabihin ang pangalan, ano? So meron siyang lecture last year, in the past school year, last year lang. So what he did was to record his lectures. Kasi sabi niya, ito rin naman yung lecture na ibibigay ko next year if I'm going to be given the same load. So he had it recorded. You know what he did? What he recorded? That was the one that he's delivering in itong school year na to sa the same class. But this time with with more creativity, with more in-stylize niya, and sabi niya next year ito naman ang gagawin ko next time on the same lecture. Okay, it was delivered the second time, but this time it was given with more flair. So siguro ganon yung mangyayari sa atin, no? For next school year, the subjects, the courses that we are offering right now, the subjects that we are teaching right now, we could deliver it the second time around with a different flair, with a different flavor, using technology. We have just got to be positive about it. Next, according to the study that was done by Kaufman, we have got to be able to motivate and incentivize students by challenging them to learn something new that would interest them. Motivate and incentivize students by challenging them to learn something new that interests them. Okay? It is the responsibility, according to Kaufman, it is the responsibility of the educators to create a supportive online environment by being available, by being positive, and by being, most of all, sympathetic. We educators should be more available, more positive, and more sympathetic. And a compassionate computer-mediated communication culture, one that values kindness and respect, okay, is vital to attain an inclusive class community. That's according to Kaufman. 25. Okay. We have got to be able to motivate and incentivize students. Nung dati sa in-person classes, we offer incentives to the students. What more now? What else could we offer to our students that's something new and refreshing? Okay? Na hindi lang tayo ang namo-motivate, even sila ay dapat ma-motivate. Spot and address. This is very important. Ano po? Sa mga counselors na narito ngayon. Spot and address early warning signs of interest or distress. Tayo nga ay nakaka-experience ng ganyan. How much more yung mga bata? Spot and address early warning signs of disinterest or distress. Identifying struggling students is more important and more challenging than ever. Doon sa classroom natin, sa in-person natin na classroom situation, we could immediately sense yung mga teachers talaga na merong extrasensory power na madali tayo maka-identify ng mga estudyante na undergoing distress. Ngayon, mas challenging that we be able to actually identify students who are in a period of distress, disinterest, detachment. Okay? Mas malaking challenge sa atin ngayon. Pero itong situation of students' detachment in what they're doing and disinterest in what they are involved with, mas mahirap nating ma-identify ngayon. And the challenge for us is to be able to spot on and address it as early as possible. Lastly, connect and explore and connect and implement different communication methods. Explore and implement different communication methods. As yung collaboration sa school and the home and the school is as important now more than ever. Ngayon mas madali. Hindi katulad nung in-person, mahirap makausap ang mga parents, those who are in charge of the children that is entrusted to us. Ngayon, because of this online thing, we could actually talk to parents more easier than it was before. So, bukod sa texting, bukod sa messaging, let us explore and implement other forms of communications that would be a lot easier for the parents to connect themselves with the teachers in school. And then, ang pinaka-importante at huli ay yung connect experience with technology. connect experience with technology. First, find an interconnection between the human behavior and the virtual world. Okay? The human behavior, according to psychologists, in the virtual world is it's no longer apparent. No, yung hindi yung parang, kundi mas kita, mas litaw ang mga behavior ng mga bata sa virtual world than it was before. Kasi mas madaling makita yung period of distress nila in the way that we conduct our classes in our school activities. So we have got to be able to find an interconnection between the human behavior in the virtual world. Second, learn from the platform that the students are already using. Look at how they are engaging with one another through technology and leverage both the platform and the methodology. Kung ano yung what are the platforms kung saan very familiar ang mga bata. For example, TikTok, they're very used in this platform. Then explore the possibility of using platforms and leverage the platform and the methodology that you're using in the classroom. Okay? Ano pa? Ano pa yung pwede natin gamitin? Na social media platform ng mga bata, explore the possibility of it and make students produce activities that are that the students are technologically aware of rather than ipilit natin kung ano lang yung alam natin. Okay? Lastly, meet them where they are and interact with them in the virtual space. Ang sabi in one study, it's not enough that we meet them in the classroom. We have got to be able to meet them outside of the classroom, also virtually. We have got to find ways to meet students outside of the virtual classroom. Kasi it used to be like that in an in-person campus setup. That we meet the students along the corridor, we meet the students along the lobby, we meet the students along the hallways. And then it's that particular time when we actually develop connection with the students. Paano sa virtual classroom? We only meet them 45 minutes, 50 minutes in a virtual classroom, and that's it. Masyado ng impersonal. So the challenge for us is to meet them where they are and interact with them in a virtual space other than the virtual classroom. We have got to be able to provide that particular space to meet the students more, to identify them more, and for them to be able to identify themselves with us and the campus and the campus culture. Okay, so we have got to be able to discover where else we could meet them virtually. Okay? Katulad lang nung pagka nakakasalubong natin sila sa mga corridors ng school. Because this is the way that we are able to personally know our students. Now, in conclusion, with the outbreak of COVID-19, students and educators around the world are experiencing unexpected turbulence. Alam naman natin to pare-pareho. Teachers, students, administrators, and parents are being required to learn new ways. These challenges are forcing, naalala ko yung mga dating balita noong 2020, early part of 2020, yung mga parents na, yung mga lola na sila ang nag-a-adapt, sila pa yung they are trying to adapt to the system of online learning, no? Parang sila yung estudyante. These challenges are forcing educators, students, and parents to communicate remotely while taking risks and implementing new platforms in order to continue educating kids, even if they are not physically at school. So, in conclusion, 3 parts. Maintain a positive school culture during these times of complex changes is critical to mobilizing your school's collective capacity towards individual and school-wide goals in the midst of pandemic. Okay? Maintain a positive school culture. Okay? Next, create a safe, just, and healthy student and teachers. Hindi lang hindi lang just and healthy students, including teachers. A strong communities, and even stronger culture, which is the ultimate source of identity. Okay? And lastly, while it could be worrisome to adapt to this consistent uncertainty, we are very fortunate to live in these times as we can be at the nexus of these changes and create new ways at looking at things and new ways at problem solving. Sabi ko nga sa inyo kanina from the start, ang na-share ko sa inyo kanina, we are in a very exciting phase in Philippine education. How are we going to explore this virtual campus and how we could best adapt to it, okay, and how best our students could be identified with it, and how best our education could be delivered to our students. Sabi ni George Corus, technology will never replace great teachers, but in the hands of great teachers, it's transformational. Ulitin natin, ha? Technology will never replace great teachers, but in the hands of great teachers, technology is transformational. Thank you po for listening. I hope I was able to, give you some ideas on how best we could, look at things in a positive way, and how best we could actually express a new identity in this virtual campus culture. Back to you, Ma'am Sarah.
Thank you very much, Sir Geronimo, for that very informative and comprehensive discussion about the campus culture in a virtual environment. I guess madaming teachers and administrators na nakukuha ng ideas how they can create an effective virtual environment for their students. And now, I am opening the floor for questions and for the question and answer portion. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask, please send them to our official Slido page at slido.com/cerebrolms. Or you can just go to slido.com and use the event code #cerebrolms. So our speaker will be able to address their questions accordingly. So for our first question this morning, in this pandemic, how did Cerebro help you manage everything smoothly? So I guess masyado siyang curious about Cerebro.
Okay, I don't want to monopolize the answers to this because all of us are using Cerebro, no? I understand that everyone here is being serviced by Cerebro.
Not all, sir. Some are from Cerebro client schools while others are from the general population.
Okay. Okay. Sa amin dito sa Baste, ang Cerebro has, provided exactly what the teachers were expecting for their students. Okay? Maraming bagay na sa simula pa lang ng online classes dito sa Baste na medyo hazy. But with Cerebro, everything was smooth until now. I don't think there are anything significantly wrong with how Cerebro is addressing the demands of the school.
So I guess nakakuha ka ng idea, Miss Natalie. So for our second question, hello Mr. G, can you suggest po ng effective activities na pwedeng gawin sa online class para makuha po yung mga attention ng students?
Nung nagtuturo pa ako when we still had the classroom encounters in person, sing and dance ako as a teacher. Those who were my students before, my class is never, I'm not, modesty aside, my class is never boring in person. Okay? Kasi I'm the kind of teacher who could sing and who could dance, and who would sing and who would dance at the drop of a coin in order to prove a point. Okay? In order for students to understand concepts, especially in logic. How am I going to do that? Paano ko ito gagawin ngayon sa classroom? Well, there are ways, there are platforms, no? For example, yung kaninang ginawa ko, yung sa social media. Okay, paggamit ng social media platforms. I-explore natin, i-maximize natin ang TikTok, for example. I-maximize natin ang pag-search natin ng mga videos relative and what you call this, the word in this hindi yung mga videos that are relative to the lecture that we are teaching, for as long as, kasi ang mga bata ngayon mas naka-tune sila sa mga video presentations eh. So I guess that's one yung mga activities na pwede natin gawin para sa online classes natin. Mas gamitin pa natin ang social media platform. Kung ano man ang meron kung ano man ang pwedeng i-offer sa atin ng social media, let's use it to our advantage.
Okay po. So for our next question, what habits should a traditional teacher practice so they can adapt to the virtual environment?
Ako po, traditional teacher ako eh. What habits could we have? The habit of positive thinking. Sa akin lang. It's all mental. Para sa akin, it's all mental. I used to fear delivering a classroom online, a lecture online. I used to fear it, but now I'm quite comfortable with it. So it's just a matter of, being positive about it. And congratulating myself after each time that I presented something new. It's congratulating myself after each time na I presented something new in a different way, a lecture in a different way, kung paano ko na-enhance yung dating lecture ko. So the use of Canva, okay? Rather than yung mga boring na yung Canva ko medyo boring kasi naman mga professionals ang mga kaharap ko. Pero the use of Canva is one thing. Canva is one thing.
For our next question po, what would a teacher possibly do to initiate this kind of campus culture in the school's online community when the administrators aren't all that open to this?
Babasahin ko ulit yung tanong. What would a teacher possibly do to initiate this kind of campus culture in the school's online community when the administrators aren't all open to this? Is there such a thing as a school whose administrators are not open to building a campus culture virtually? If there are, that's unfortunate. But school administrators have got to be able to adapt. I mean, sa Baste, we do have the IT infrastructure that we need to run the school, no? But with Cerebro at our side, things are a lot easier. No, meron talaga siguro mga school administrators na hindi open sa mga ganitong bagay, but they have got to have a change of heart already. At this time, kailangan talaga eh. And it's not something that is temporary. No, this virtual thing, this online classes and all of this, lalala pa to. May mas maganda pa dito. Cerebro could, recreate itself, reinvent itself to something better and to something bigger. Okay? Dahil sa merong something better and something bigger na pangangailangan ng mga classrooms, ang mga classes, ang mga estudyante. And administrators, school administrators should be able to acknowledge this and prepare themselves for this. No, napakaswerte ng Lasal Subel, ng De La Salle Subel, kasi sila yung una sa pagkakaalam ko ha, I may be wrong. But as far as I know, in my circle of friends sa mga schools, De La Salle Subel was able to prepare themselves way ahead of the pandemic. That's why it was easy for the students to shift, lalo na yung mga grade school students, to shift from an in-person to a virtual classroom. Yun. So, kung meron mga administrators na hindi open sa mga ganitong sa campus culture in a virtual environment o sa virtual environment o sa class online teach, at iniisip nila na temporary lang to, they have got to have a change of mind and heart at this time, because this is here to stay.
Okay, I guess nasagot na po yung tanong. So for our next question, may mga videos po na trending where students recorded their teacher's reaction with their hugot lines. Is it tolerable po ba for this kind of campus culture?
Parang alam ko yan. Sa akin kasi, ano ba? Meron talaga mga teachers na may mga hugot-hugot sa kanilang kwan, ano? For as long as it is not, what do you call this? Hindi nakaka-insulto sa bata. It's in aid of a better understanding of the content. For as long as it is not offensive to the rules of discipline, if it's good humor, why not? If it's good humor, why not?
If I may butt in, sir, then, what
Sure.
if maybe what the participant is asking, what if it's the other way around? If it's the student who's doing the hugot lines to the teacher and the student is the one recording, is there is there supposed to be a policy for that so it would be tolerable?
Ewan ko lang, I'm not an expert when it comes to yung sa discipline, ano. Hindi ko feel yung school student discipline. Pero ang alam ko, mas mabigat kung yung ang pinag-uusapan natin dito, yung mga hugot na nakakatawa o yung hugot na pinagtatawanan ang guro. Ano ba?
Halimbawa, parang they're making hugot lines na parang something like parang romantic lines for their teachers. Then i-record ng mga estudyante yon and they're sharing it to their social media pages. Na ganito yung naging reaction ng teacher nila nung ganito yung sinabi nila during their recitation or their discussions.
Yung mga unguarded moments ng mga teachers na biglang napahugot.
Yeah.
Well, aminin na natin, yung mga unguarded moments ng mga teachers na biglang napapahugot, minsan nakakatawa lang naman talaga yun eh. Ang sinasabi ko, if for as long as it is within the context of humor, okay lang siguro. Kasi every now and then, kailangan natin humugot sa classroom eh. For us to be able to speak the language of the students eh. I don't know how we could actually make hugot if we are teaching mathematics, or if we are making hugot while we're teaching science. But definitely, if we're teaching literature, we could make actually hugot. For as long as it is within the boundaries of good humor, it's okay. Pero if it's insulting already, both for the teacher and for the student, especially if it is the other way around, the teacher is the one recording it and posting it on his wall, tapos offensive, administrators should be able to call the attention of the teachers.
Okay po. So for our last question this day, what are the changes po that you did to adapt to such changes?
Well, whatever changes, whatever adjustments that there are available and within my reach, I use it. Okay, kung ano man yung pwede kong gawin, medyo mahirap lang technically, but conceptually, may mga bagay na nasa isip ko na gusto kong gawin. How am I going to do this technically? Then yon, nadi-discover ko kung paano.
Ano po kaya yung mga changes na yun, sir, na ginagamit?
But the use of videos, for example, video clips, kung paano ako mag-cut ng isang buong, sa isang, yung binigay kong sample kanina, Ma'am Sarah, yung sa simula pa lang yung video ng Real Genius. Sabi ko kay Henry, paano ko ba kukunin yung part na yun? Yun lang gusto kong makita. Yes, Father. Ay, yun. Na-discover ko just recently on how to make use of it.
Okay po. So, I guess that's it po. So, thank you so... yes, sir?
Okay. Sige.
So, thank you so much for the questions, and I hope that all of you have gained something from our session this morning. And I would like to thank everyone for your active participation in this webinar, and I hope that you enjoyed this talk. So before I give you the link for the evaluation and certificate, let me just invite everyone for a quick photo opportunity. So please turn on your cameras and put the big smile on your faces while our Cerebro team takes the screenshot. So guys, please turn on your cameras. Okay.
I'll be taking the screenshots na lang. So please turn on your cameras. So if you want to get copies of our photos, sige, we will be posting na lang this. Since you are already live stream na rin naman right now on Facebook, we will be posting our screenshots on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/cerebrolms. So you can easily get your photos there. If you don't want to show your face to Facebook, sige, you can just leave your cameras off. But of course, we encourage you to turn it on. Okay, so we have two screens right now on Zoom. Unfortunately, we can't get the screenshots of the photos of those joining us on Facebook, on YouTube, and within the LMS platforms. Sige po, I'll be taking screenshots na po of the first screen. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Please keep your smiles wide kasi meron pa tayong isang screen. And it might be different on my end and your end. Okay. Second screen, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, ayan. Sarah?
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. And as I have promised, please go to the link flash on the screen to answer our evaluation form and get your e-certificates. So, ayan. Yes. So, ayan po. So, again, I'm Sarah Mizocarius, the Customer Success Officer here at Cerebro. Thank you and see you again in our next webinar series. Happy weekend, guys. Thank you po.
Ito po.